What is ego? And how can I talk about ego without talking about my life story? And why I had to die to understand ego. Does the story of ego start in this bedroom? Does it start with my childhood? Maybe. Maybe not. The actual story of ego starts with my perspective. You see, ever since I was a child, I always saw the world in patterns. I noticed the small things, things that nobody else saw. And I always wanted to communicate those patterns to people, but they never could understand me. I felt alienated. I felt like this universe was hidden from everybody else. Then I saw Interstellar, and I realized that these ideas didn't necessarily have to be hidden. I just had to talk about them through movies. The story begins in another bedroom. Not this one, but one in Saudi Arabia, where a dream was built to move to the greatest country on earth. But my approach was simplistic. I slowly made up my mind to move out of Saudi after my high school. I started celebrating every single moment because I knew it was the end.
This is our hometown, semi-hometown. We're heading out into
No, you ain't gonna do that shit. I'm gonna go pick up on me. In the next, these are mine.
Every day felt like a waste of time. So I decided to say my final goodbyes to my school and to my family and to head out eastward. I flew back to the country I came from 8 years ago. The dream hinged on me continuing to make videos, but that could not happen because my ego got in the way of me making videos. If I had a living chance of going to the United States, I had to understand ego. And so I spent every single moment trying to understand it. And the first person I looked towards was Sigmund Freud, who describes ego in the form of a horse and rider, consisting of 3 parts: the id, the superego, and the ego, the person riding the horse. The id and the superego control us through primitive means, through impulses and guilt. And the method of id is to control us through impulses.
The sandwich is practically American institution.
All our primitive needs, all our animalistic needs, they come from this guy. And it needs a tight leash. The other part of ego is called the superego, which controls us through guilt. If it's culturally unacceptable, the superego delivers a dose of guilt to produce harmony. It helps us to conform and to slow down when we're breaking harmony and cultural acceptance. The rider, or the ego, is the part which regulates the guilt and the impulses, and is the only connection to the outside world. Your inner world can only come in contact with the outside world through this guy. That still doesn't explain my sense of grandiosity and why I thought I was above everyone else. Just look at this sucker. To understand that, I came across an idea known as ego strength. Ego strength is the part that flips our understanding of ego upside down. See, Freud says that when you reduce ego strength, the unrealistic qualities about ourselves begin to surface. Our connection with reality breaks, and we begin to label ourselves like we're not. And this is the part which helped me finally get a grasp over my ego. Slowly but surely, all the labels I gave myself, all unrealistic qualities associated with myself, began to wipe away. I felt more connected to the world. I felt I could learn for the first time. I felt I could experiment for the first time. I became more connected with reality, more than I've ever been. And I felt strong in every sense of the word. But then suddenly, it all came crashing down last week when I was making this video. And I had to ask a friend to help me.
ये सोच रहे हो कि तुम रिलैक्स कर रहे हो तो ऑनेस्टली स्पीकिंग यू आर नॉट बिकॉज ये ह्यूमनली पॉसिबल नहीं है कि हम अगर कोई चीज़ छोड़ चुके हैं तो हम दोबारा उस चीज़ पे ना जाएं whether it's dopamine addiction, whether it's ego, whether it's substance addiction, whether it's something like, you know,
I know.
it's something like we are addicted to ego.
After my ego death experience, I could never ever go back. And it wasn't ego strength or anything else which helped me. It was ego death. Tune in for part 2 to understand what really helped me get a grasp over my ego.